Over the last few years, millions of young people have taken to the streets. During India's massive exam leak uprisings, Gen Z organizers flooded parliament blocks, using memes and anime references to bypass traditional media control. They coordinated these massive turnouts on decentralized platforms like Discord. By using anonymous servers and fluid usernames, they created a leaderless network that state authorities found difficult to track or dismantle. But eventually, those digital networks collide with physical realities. When thousands of young people march on government buildings, they end up face-to-face with barricades and riot police, officers who are often working-class citizens pulled from the very same neighborhoods. While citizens endure tear gas fighting other citizens, the people who actually draft the policies sit behind closed doors. The architects of the crisis remain invisible and unharmed. Standing in front of a police van is a powerful act of defiance, and these protests serve as a pressure valve for public anger. However, they lack the structural capacity to overwrite a broken system. They can pause the machine, but they cannot rebuild it. Millions of these protesters already understand this dynamic through the stories they consume. In the anime Attack on Titan, massive walls exist to divide populations, keep them isolated in fear, and hide the truth about the outside world. This vintage map shows the undivided region of pre-1947 India. These borders didn't evolve naturally. They were artificially drawn by colonial empires. By severing interconnected regions, they employed a divide and rule strategy, keeping communities fighting so they never question who drew the lines. The original colonizers left decades ago, but the physical military perimeters they necessitated are still heavily enforced today. We are living inside an architecture coded by dead empires. We maintain their inherited hatreds, pay for their border walls, and bleed in their conflicts, all to protect the influence of a hidden, modern elite. Physical walls only work if the people inside comply with them. This compliance is built in from childhood. Systems of education are structured like industrial-era factories, focused on rote memorization, while essential healthcare operates as a profit-driven enterprise. You are trained to accept the status quo. This brings us to another pop culture blueprint, Naruto, and its concept of the cycle of hatred. When a border war kills a father, his child grows up wanting revenge, creating the next orphan, and the cycle continues. You see this exact loop broadcast daily on news channels covering the Pakistan-India conflict. There is a massive financial incentive to keep populations locked in this cycle. As long as citizens direct their anger across the border, they don't ask who is securing the defense contracts, who is selling weapons to both sides, or who profits while the working class bleeds. Recognizing how this machinery operates is the first step in dismantling it. Choosing to understand the conflict and refusing to inherit the hatred of previous generations is the ultimate act of rebellion. So, if the working class is at the bottom fighting itself, who sits at the absolute top of this global order? In the anime One Piece, the world is secretly ruled by 5 unelected men known as the 5 Elders. Look at the permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, and you see the exact same power structure. These 5 nations, the victors of a world war that ended 80 years ago, hold permanent veto power over global affairs. Any single one of them can block international action, paralyze diplomacy, and protect their own geopolitical dominance without facing a democratic vote. Gen Z organizers see this parallel clearly. From Kathmandu to Manila, young people are flying this exact flag, using the Straw Hat Jolly Roger as an international symbol of defiance against unaccountable elite rule. But marching on the streets to demand fairness from this tier of power is a dead end. The system isn't failing, it is working exactly as it was designed to. It extracts wealth upward and cannot be reformed from within. To win, this generation has to stop asking for change and start building the structural replacement. The goal is to move from reactive street protests to the creation of a functional, parallel infrastructure. This is the logic behind the GAIGS platform, taking the same decentralized organizing power Gen Z uses on Discord and turning it into a formal governance tool that moves power away from centralized authorities. This architecture flowchart illustrates how it works. By combining a web application with a strict integrity layer, the platform creates a system where trust is earned through verifiable data, rather than through a centralized authority. At the local level, communities organize into unity hubs. These nodes allow neighborhoods to manage their own data, debate policies, and execute decisions independently without waiting for top-down permission. By replacing closed-door negotiations with cryptographic ledgers, communities can finally govern themselves. You no longer need to trust the word of a politician. You only need to trust the audit trail. This diagram shows the 6-step life cycle of a democratic proposal on the platform. Any citizen can submit an idea, which then moves through a transparent discussion window before facing a tamper-proof vote. Before voting opens, an integrated AI summarizes the proposal's core data. This strips away political rhetoric and emotional manipulation, so citizens can vote on the objective pros and cons of the policy itself. Every single vote and every penny of public funds is recorded on an append-only hash-chained ledger. Financial corruption becomes immediately visible and technically impossible to alter after the fact. It is time to stop bleeding over artificial walls drawn by dead empires. We have the technology to replace them with an interconnected digital network built on transparency and direct action. Reclaim your power. Set sail toward a world built on verifiable code, not on inherited hatreds. Log in and help build the future the 5 elders tried to hide.